Hey everybody, coming up next on PGTV's Sports Central, wow, Grant, yes, Grant, and Leroy Mason, believe it or not, are here from the Lakeland Pro Rodeo. We also have Donovan Tinsley and Hall of Famer, at least in the world of tennis, Mr. Dave Bierman. Stick around for this edition of Sports Central. Hey everybody, welcome to Sports Central. I'm Mark Jackson. My co-host to my right, to your left on your radio television dial, Mr. Neil Duncan.
How we doing?
Doing good. How you doing, buddy?
I'm excited about this show and excited to have you back in studio. But this first segment brought to us by the Holiday Inn Express in Lakeland, a fine partner of tourism and sports marketing.
Just according to script, man.
That's right. That's what it says here, anyways.
Follow rules well. Well, one of the things that I look forward to every single year, believe it or not, and we have the opportunity to have somebody related to the Lakeland Pro Rodeo Classic on the show. But wow, the Rodeo Monkeys will be back. That's my favorite part. I just love it.
It took you about 5 seconds to make that known, right?
That's it, man. It's just so impressive. But anyway, we have some of the best bull riders, I should say. We also have barrel racing and all sorts of fun stuff happening at the Lakeland Center coming up in a couple of weeks. You've got to check it out. But here to tell us about it, we do have Grant and Leroy Mason, guys that have put this thing on for 32 years. But they also, you know, it's phenomenal. Every Saturday night, if you have not been out to River Ranch to check out their rodeo out there, these are the guys that are going to tell you all about it. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Well, you know, this is a great time of the year, obviously the holiday season, but right after that, we don't let down one iota because you guys are going to be back for the 32nd time. This is awesome. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it too. We're bringing back a lot of the people that was there last year because we sold out on Saturday night and a lot of people missed it. And so this year we're bringing back, like you said, the dog and the monkey. They love it. Everybody loves the dog and the monkey. And also Jimmy Riffle and the Gator Boys. And that last year people thought the Gator Boys, it was some kind of a musical band or something.
Out of Gainesville or something, yeah.
Yeah, but now they know who the Gator Boys or the Gators are and the Gator Boys and Jimmy Riffle. So. Yeah, plus the regular 7 events we're going to have, and we're bringing back the state finals for the junior barrel racing, WPRA junior barrel racing, and that's kids under 16 years old, but they go all year long to win money and points to be able to compete here at Lakeland for their finals.
Well, obviously, this event, for a lot of people, it's on their calendar. It's an annual thing they want to go to and check out. But let's talk to those people that haven't been to the event before. What are they going to see? What are they going to see in the different categories or events, if you will, at the Lakeland Pro Rodeo?
Okay, well, right now in Las Vegas, the national finals are going on live. In fact, you can see it on GAC every night at 10 o'clock, where there's over $10,000 in prize money in the 7 events. What happens is the Cowboys and cowgirls from all over the country and Canada, well actually all over the world, they go to rodeos like ours to gain points to be able to go to the finals in Las Vegas at the end of the year. So what happens is they will come to Lakeland to compete in these 7 events to win money and points toward the year end, and the top 15 get to go to the national finals in Las Vegas, which is going on right now, but the ones that won points last year are there competing. So it's quite exciting. Plus, we here in Florida, we have more than just the rodeo events because people don't understand, like they do out west, the rodeo events and the details of it. They don't look at it as a sport. So here we bring in extra stuff, what we call variety type stuff, like the dog and the monkey and all. And we put a show together and we raise money for the Wounded Heroes, which I'm sure you're familiar with that, Florida's Wounded Heroes. So yeah, we put a lot into this, and it's indoors, so we can control the environment, and it's going to be a heck of a show.
Well, we're looking at some footage here of barrel racing. What are some of the other events? Bull riding, I'm assuming, will be back.
Well, bull riding and barrel racing actually is the 2 featured events. We have saddle bronc riding, bareback riding, steer racing, town down roping, and of course the 2 barrel races itself. But the bucking horse events people like too.
Yeah.
So, but bull riding is the number one.
That's the main attraction.
And actually, barrel racing is the number 2 favorite event.
Yeah, I thought the barrel racing's cool. The Grant, obviously you look like you're in shape to be a cowboy.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about what your background is.
I basically grew up around it my entire life. This is my main coach throughout
All
my
right.
21 years of living right now. And actually, I'm a pickup man in the rodeo. So you ever see the guys that, right up next to the bucking horses after the cowboys are done riding, they get off on them?
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys will be wearing the chaps and riding pretty cool horses and kind of keep things going smoothly, keep all the animals, if they want to stick around for a little bit extra time in the spotlight, we'll shoo them out,
Yeah.
kind of make sure everything keeps running smooth.
Now, do you go to school or are you?
Yes, sir. I'm actually a senior at Texas A&M University.
Okay, Texas A&M. Wow.
Yes, sir.
What do you
Gig 'em.
think- Why do you think they're going to do in the bowl games this year?
I think we're going to do great.
You think Johnny Manziel is going to come back for another season?
I'm not sure. I think since his past 2 performances in the past 2 games, he'll come back and get his stats back up for that NFL draft.
Well, it's hard to walk away from potentially making that kind of money in the
That's
National
true.
Football League. But speaking of money, let's talk about what kind of prize purse we have for the Lakeland Pro Rodeo.
Well, this year total prize money will be a minimum of $35,000.
Okay.
And then there'll be some bonus monies given out too, and we're working on a deal now with a sponsor to have a bonus bull to bring in. This is not for sure yet, but we're working on it, a bull that's unrideable or has been unrideable, and put a bonus money on that bull so somebody will draw. And then we'll have a fan that maybe if we get this thing done, a fan will partner with them, and then they'll split the bonus on this bull if he's qualified on for 8 seconds.
Let's talk about that. The bonus bull, is that a random draw for one of the riders or?
No, this will be a bull that's set aside that we'll bring in specially just for this.
Okay.
And what they do, the contestants that's entered will draw a name out, and he will get to try this bull
Okay.
for a
So
lot
it's a
of money.
blind draw to
It's
get
a
to ride
blind
the-
draw.
okay.
Yes.
That'd
How
be
can you
great.
rig that? Let's put Neil on that thing. Although he's
Well,
got.
we could do that.
Yeah, he's not his normal self. He has.
One of the main things is the people need to get out and buy their tickets early this year because we
sold out last year.
Yeah, and we had to turn people away.
Yeah.
And and kids get in free. 12 and under with a paid adult, they can bring 2 kids free. So this is a family show and family affordable. So it costs a lot of money to take the kids to Disney World and everything, but all you got to do is go up there and the parent buy 1 ticket, and they get 2 of their kids in free. So
You talk about the kids and coming to the Saturday night event. It is a great event. I remember taking my son, he's now 11, but when he was little, and that's where he bought his first cowboy hat, was at the Lakeland Pro Rodeo, and he still has that thing. But talk about some of the family atmosphere. This is a family sport.
Yep,
And,
it is.
And your whole family is involved in this, and where does it really get started, and how did you guys get involved in producing rodeos?
Well, I produced my first rodeo when I was 15 years old in high school. I wanted a rodeo in our hometown, and I produced a high school or junior rodeo with the FFA there, and that's been quite a few years ago. Then I went from there to producing rodeos, and I've judged rodeos. I worked every event in rodeo. I produced rodeos in other countries, and most major buildings in the United States at one time or another, including Madison Square Garden, that I've been in to produce rodeos. But like I said,
Wow.
I'm retired now, and my wife and Grant does most of the work. I just come along and make TV appearances,
Well, at least you're honest about it.
But that's a good thing. Grant, did you ever ride at all?
Yes, sir. I'm a team roper, so
Okay.
I've grew up mostly roping. Been on a couple bucking horses. Most of the time, just working for Dad and
Yeah.
doing stuff here and there for everyone. But my main event's team roping if I'm not picking up rodeos.
Well, tell us a little bit. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. What does that mean?
Well, if you have team roping, you'll have what we call a header, and they rope, and they'll rope you see them rope the head, and then we'll have with the healer. You'll see the guys that rope the back feet. We call them the healer. And then I'm actually a header, so that's what I compete. When I compete in rodeos, I'll actually head, and I've been doing that ever since I was about 10 or 11 years old. So, and then when I was about 16, I started picking up.
Texas A&M, great school. Where are you
Yes,
going
sir.
after that?
I'm actually contracted with the Army right now. I'm on a scholarship, and they're paying for about 90% of my college. So when I graduate from Texas A&M in May, I'll actually commission in as a second lieutenant. I go in as an ordnance officer, and then when I get my orders for training, I'll leave sometime in the summer and be done with my basic officers training, and then actually go to EOD school in Pensacola, Florida, which is explosive ordnance disposal. So it's kind of like the Army bomb squad stuff.
Well, you're actually, the charity is Embracing Florida's Wounded Heroes.
Yes, sir.
And every experience that I've ever had, Lakeland Pro Rodeo event, has always been very pro-America, family, and those types of things.
Yes, sir.
That obviously has come out of a family that has, good Florida roots, and the tributes that you guys do are just phenomenal. Of course, your MC is excellent. I always get a kick out of that, but it's something that, as a family, this has been a family sport. And obviously, if people want to get more information about that, where could they go? Let's just say somebody's interested in, doing the types of things that you guys do or getting involved in rodeo. Is there a way to step into that other than owning a family farm or ranch?
Well, I'll tell you what, that's one of the things that we do at River Ranch on the rodeo there. We have a rodeo there every week, and they can call, kids get started there at River Ranch, and they have, because that rodeo's been going on for 30-something years. We've been doing it for 11 years. But what we done, we changed the format, and it's an amateur. We have the pros come there when they're in Florida, but it's mostly for kids that's getting started. And we kind of do it like golf. A kid that wants to start out riding bulls, we don't put him on a ranked bull. We handicap them on bulls that might suit them or they might ride. But right now, the only place that I know of, unless you pay money to go to a school somewhere out west, if you contact us at River Ranch or contact Westgate River Ranch, they'll tell them how to enter and everything, and they can enter. And we even just do exhibitions too also. But they can learn how to ride bulls out there. They can learn to do anything in the rodeo business. In fact, my crew that's out there, one of those kids started there when they was 7 or 8 or 9 years old doing something. And now the arena director there that works for me, he's 20 years old, but he started there 8 years ago.
Okay,
Wow.
that's unbelievable.
Well, the website, lakelandprorodeo.com, and talked about the tickets starting at $20, and
Right.
then it can go up a little bit as you get closer to the action. And
Exactly.
That's one of the great things about the Lakeland Center venue is you're right on top of the action. You can actually feel the wind of the horses turning on the corners.
You can get dirt on you, believe me. You can get some front row seats, and they go first. They're $45 for the front row seats, but they go fast.
Right.
They go first now. And plus the $20 seats, if you bring 2 kids at another event, actually you break it down, you're paying probably about $7 a piece to come to watch a family show for 2.5 hours. And I guarantee you, if anybody's not satisfied, look me up and I'll make sure Judy gives their money back.
Well, that's certainly
Judy.
cheaper than
Christmas.
going to the movies, and
Yeah, it is.
you get to interact with the family. So great event.
Yeah, that's some awesome stuff. Great family show. It is a family sport, believe it or not. It really
It
is.
is.
And you can see the difference here. But it's also interesting to see the family to my left, to your right, everybody. They're doing a little coaching over here for Grant and Leroy. Best of luck
Thank
at
you.
Texas A&M, and then of course on into the Army. And Leroy, we certainly hope you don't retire fully, because this show is phenomenal. We want to see it coming back to Polk County, because it is truly entertainment, and we appreciate it, and some world-class talent.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Can't beat that combo. Well, one of the events, speaking of combos, because there's a lot of combos out there, Neil, in this next event that we have some special footage from. It's called Tough Mudder. You're going through a combination of trials, tribulations, and some tough running through the mud, through the dirt, you name it. Check this out. Neil and Mark will be back with more Sports Central right after this.
we've got here on course today about 12 miles, running with a lot of features scattered in between. So start line's just over my shoulder here, and finish line at the base area. Participants will then enter out into a full 12-mile course with a lot of random mud pits, ditches built, and a lot of cool obstacles. So we've got a lot of our staple obstacles here, Arctic Enema, Everest, electroshock therapy, and a mystery obstacle, a brand new obstacle that's never been seen before. So there's a mix of some of the stuff that people are used to and that it's new, as well as some brand new stuff that people have never seen before. So electric obstacles, these are a staple for a Tough Mudder event. One involves crawling through a tight watery space with electric wires hanging over you. The really nimble people can slither through without getting shocked. And electroshock therapy is one of our marquee obstacles. It's usually the very last one. It involves a sprint to the finish line through an electrified field of wires with a few trip hazards in the way, a nice muddy base. So some people can run through without falling down, others stumble along the way. Either way, it makes for a good photo, and so those are two of our marquee obstacles. Over the weekend, we'll have nearly 12,000 participants. As well, we'll have probably at least 3,000 spectators. So all in all, this weekend, we'll have 15,000 people with us enjoying the day. It's been a great event so far, and it'll continue through tomorrow. So Polk County, it's a great place for us. It's centrally located in Florida, so we're drawing from a lot of the major cities, Tampa to the west and Orlando to the north. Westgate River Ranch is nice. It's a nice big property, lots of open fields for us to work with. A lot of natural water features, mud pits, as well as just open land, places that we can build our obstacles and we can weave a 12-mile course in. So it gives us a nice mix. We got a lot of shade actually on this course, which can be rare at times. So we've got a combination of running out in the sun, some shaded areas, natural water and ditches, lots of great build sites for obstacles. It's a prime location to have an event, especially of this size. So it's really working out great.
Everybody, and welcome back to segment number 2 of Sports Central. I'm Mark Jackson. If you're just joining us, my co-host, Mr. Neil Duncan.
The second segment, can't talk, brought to us by the Florida Department of Citrus, and a great organization, and of course, you know, Polk County, a rich history in agriculture, and of course,
It's just
cattle as well from the first segment. So.
Oh yeah, cattle. You know, agriculture in the state of Florida is absolutely huge. A lot of people don't realize the size of the cattle industry, but the citrus industry is really Florida's mainstay. And of course in Polk County, the largest producer of citrus anywhere else in the state of Florida, and arguably a region of our size in the world. So really happy to have the Florida Department of Citrus. They do a lot of good and a lot of education too. So thank you to them. Well, we do have as promised at the beginning of the show, we do have a Polk County Sports Hall of Famer on. That's Mr. Dave Bierman. And if you like tennis, his name is synonymous with tennis, not only just in Polk County, but throughout the state of Florida. Dave, welcome aboard.
Thank you, Mark.
Good to see you. Always smiling, and I'm not sure why, because you've got more events coming up than you can shake the stick at.
Yeah, that's good stuff, though.
Yeah,
that's real good.
He talks about Mark. You were saying talking about
keep inching
Mr.
over here.
Mr. Bierman's name. Not only is it synonymous, it's also on the name of the complex there in Lakeland. A lot of events coming into the Bierman Family Tennis Complex, and let's talk about the Lakeland Winter Sectional. What is it, and when is it?
The dates, the City of Lakeland's, it's a 32nd annual Winter Sectional Junior Tennis Tournament, and it's designed primarily for the top 64 children in each age division that we host. And the age divisions that we host are the 18 and under girls, the 16 and under boys, and the 16 and under girls. And it's, like I said, it's the top 64 ranked players in the state are the only ones that get invited to the tournament. So it's a real high caliber type tennis tournament. And for example, some of the players through the years that have played in this as juniors are like Mary Jo Fernandez. She was ranked like 5 in the world in the pros. Andy Roddick, he was number
Really?
one in the world.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, exactly. Brian Godfrey, Mary Pierce, Marty Fish, he's
Who really?
Yeah.
Well,
So
there's Dave. Are there? Maybe I misunderstood, but there's 64
players
in
each age group.
which there's 4 total.
There's 3 total.
3 total.
Three total. It's 18 girls, 16
Oh, okay.
boys, and 16 girls. The other divisions, the 12 and under boys and girls, and the 14 and under girls and boys, and
Okay.
the 18 boys are played over into the Tampa and St. Pete area. So it's a real big tournament from that standpoint, and we're fortunate enough for 32 years we've hosted the 3 divisions that we have, and so if anyone would like to come out and watch some just excellent players, we'd love to have them come out and watch.
Now, this event is January 18th to the 20th,
18th
correct?
through the 20th.
Tell the viewers that are watching, where is the tennis complex located at?
Okay, it's in Lakeland, and it's 1000 East Edgewood Drive across the street from the golf course
Cleveland Heights.
on Cleveland Heights.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's you think about that. That's 192 or almost 200
That's
kids.
correct.
Plus, you have coaches, you have parents, and all this type of
Exactly.
stuff. Coming at a great time of the year. A lot of heads in beds, a lot of people in restaurants, and all of that. So
Exactly.
I imagine, Dad, if kids aren't playing, sneak over to Cleveland Heights Golf Course and check it out too. And it's-
They
You
do.
know, at least I'd be on that one. But Dave, we talked about a lot of tournaments coming up. I mean, you guys do stuff constantly, year round. Here's some action here, from some players I think you probably know. But this is really, really not just a competitive tennis venue. It's also a training facility.
That's correct.
And you guys offer lessons and individual or group.
Yes, we offer lessons for beginners, intermediates, advanced players, children from 5 years old up to adults, and we offer that year round.
Okay.
So
Before,
Interesting
well,
stuff.
along those lines, before we go on and talk about some of these other events, what would your advice be to a parent or someone interested in getting a young child involved in the sport of tennis? Because as we know, the earlier you get started, probably the better off you're going to be.
Right.
What age would that be to get a good age to get them started? And then what would be the best course of action to get them enthused about the game of tennis?
Well, I think, the USTA has a program now with children where you use larger foam tennis balls and you use small rackets and you use short nets, and it's designed to slow everything down so that the children can learn how to play quicker, and it's easier for them. And we have that's the program we use at our facility, and we found that it's a lot better than tossing balls to the kids and all. Let them go ahead and start hitting balls right off the get-go, and playing, making it as much fun as you can for the children.
That's cool stuff. Well, you've got another tournament coming up. It's called the 4th Annual, and I may pronounce this, Bear Lay.
And that's correct.
Bear Lay Memorial Junior Tennis
Yes.
Tournament, which is February 8th through the 10th.
That's correct.
Now, what is that all about? That's a
Okay.
little different.
Well, that tournament, we started that tournament 4 years ago. Bear was just a wonderful lady that volunteered at all our tournaments and helped. At all our junior tournaments, we serve barbecue, and it's free for all the kids,
Wow.
all the participants, all the parents, and all the coaches. And, sports marketing helps us, and consequently, we're able to do nice things. And we're one of the few tournaments in the state that, for example, does that. And all our tournaments we give large trophies to, etc. So we're able to do that through partnership with the sports marketing. But the Bear Lay tournament, we started that, and it's designed for the kids who are not ranked. In fact, if you're ranked in the top 50 in the state, you cannot participate in that particular tournament. So it's for the kids who are not good enough to come play, say, for example, in the winter sectional, but it's a starting point for them. And we have a lot of children around the state that come and participate in that tournament. And we try to make it as the most fun that we can for the parents as well as the children. And the divisions that we have in that tournament are 10 and under, 12s, 14s, 16s, and 18, boys and girls, and singles and doubles. And so they get to play whatever age they are. We have something for them.
Well, we've talked about the younger ages and the kids, if you will, playing in these different tournaments. Obviously, tennis is a sport you can play throughout your life. Let's talk about on the other end of the spectrum, the senior games and what you guys offer to maybe people who are retired or have a little more time to play tennis.
Well, the senior games, the date of the senior games is February the 24th through the 28th. And I think the deadline on that is February the 7th. And if anybody's interested in playing that, they can call 533-0055 and get a booklet and play in that. But the divisions in that is 50 to 55, and then 55 to 60, et cetera, and going up. We have some players that are 90 years old that are playing in it, and we have singles, doubles, mix, and we've been doing that tournament. This is the 22nd annual, and so that's a fun tournament, and everybody has a good time with that tournament.
You do that in conjunction with the Polk Senior Games.
That's correct.
Which is sort of a feeder for the Florida State.
That's
not
correct.
Florida State.
Yeah, right.
That's fine too.
As
in
in
Auburn.
Yeah.
No, don't even go there.
It's going to be
We're gonna talk
interesting.
about that matchup
And we
in just
will
a
be
little
talking about that. We'll have to see what goes, but that's we were talking with Leroy and Grant Mason a few minutes ago and talking about how rodeo is sort of a family sport. Whether you're actually riding or you're involved in the sport, tennis is very much like that. But more so from a participatory, because you're not getting jolted around by some bull that's trying to bash your head in or any of that type of stuff. You're playing, and there's so many people that I know that are older, way older than me, that still enjoy. Now, do you still play?
Yeah, I still teach.
Okay.
Some of the better kids and stuff, because it's still a lot of fun.
Well, I might have to get a lesson from them, because about a year and a half ago, we were having some adult beverages, a group of us. And this young woman was going on about how prolific a tennis player she was and all this type of stuff, and I just happened to maybe have one too many, and made the comment that I said, I haven't played in 30-some years. I said, I bet you I can beat you.
Oh, man.
And she smoked me so bad.
I know.
So before I do that again,
There's always
I'm coming
somebody
over to
around the corner.
get a lesson. Well, that was funny. Go on. I'm sorry, Dale.
No, I was just going to say before we have to go, and here on Sports Central we do different tips, whether it be soccer tips or running tips or things of that nature. What are the 3 rules that you need to stick by to develop yourself into being a good tennis player?
Well, I think the main thing, no matter what age you are, the main thing is you got to keep it fun. And if you can keep it fun, then everything else will work out. I got to tell you about one more tournament I have, and that's
that's the Lender?
That's the Lender. That's the 48th annual.
Wow.
And Scott Lender started that 48 years ago, and after he passed away, the friends and family of Scott kept the tournament going, along with sports marketing in the city of Lakeland. And this tournament is designed for the top-ranked kids as well as the beginners. So
Okay.
it's a combination of both, and we always have over 200 kids come in from all over the state for that tournament. So
You keep 'em coming.
that's another one that's a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and you bring up a great point that these people are coming in, these participants and their families are coming in from all over the state of Florida
That's
and
right.
sometimes out of the state, and bringing that economic impact. I know we hit on it earlier, but you really can't underscore that because the ability to bring these events in, have great facilities like we have there in Lakeland and other places in the county.
Sure.
But we want to thank you for all that you've
Oh,
done
yeah.
to keep tennis
Sure.
so relevant in Polk County.
Man.
And you're looking at 48 years and 20 years, and these are long-standing events, and we appreciate all that you've done in that, Dave.
Thank you. It's fun.
It's always a pleasure to have you on. I always learned something
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Absolutely.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you.
Hasn't helped your tennis game any, obviously, but
No, that's obvious. A little humble pie, but hey, that's good for you. Well, anybody, speaking of humble pie, if you're an avid runner and even if you're an advanced runner, we always like to bring you some of the latest and greatest tips on different sports and techniques and so on and so forth. We have some running tips for you here. Make sure you check this out. My buddy old Neil Duncan here that has a sore back. I just smacked him
Thank
on.
you. Appreciate
Yeah, I
that.
bet you that felt really good. Excuse me, Neil. Anyway, we will be back, at least I will be, right after this.
Hi, I'm Dawn, and I'm here to give you some intermediate tips to bring your running up to the next level. Once you've been running consistently for a few months, it's time to start introducing speed work into your workout. Remember to have a proper warm-up before you start your speed work session. Run for about a mile at a normal tempo, and then start your speed work. Once you're finished with the speed work, stretch and hydrate. Only do about 2 speed work sessions a week, gradually increasing to no more than 3. Don't forget to do your regular maintenance runs throughout the week. It'll make you a faster runner. Most of your runs to this point have been focused on distance, 3 to 4 miles long, probably at the most 5. Your speed work's going to be a little different. These are short workouts with really high intensity. So in contrast, these workouts are going to be a little bit shorter, but they're going to be higher in intensity. So you're going to be really tired at the end of these workouts. These are just some intermediate tips to make you a faster runner. Remember to always stretch before you run, gradually increase your speed work, hydrate, and most importantly, have fun.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sports Central. Mark Jackson along with Neil Duncan here on segment number 3. And Neil, we've been real fortunate to have the opportunity to work with some great companies over the years, but almost none better, the Legoland Florida group and Merlin Entertainments. But the announcement that they just made, I mean, that's phenomenal. Talking about 160-room resort hotel opening in 2015. What does that mean to the county?
Well, when they first announced that they were coming to Winter Haven and to Polk County, they established a plan of reinvesting into the property, and some years would be less of an investment, some years would be higher, and obviously this is a big investment on their behalf to bring that. But Polk County, it gives those people looking for a resort type stay that are looking to be with the Legoland product, staying right here in Polk County. Obviously, Legoland has brought a number of room nights, thousands and thousands of room nights to Polk County, but this just adds to it because now the Legoland themed resort, and it's just, we're very excited about it and looking forward to it. And of course, they're sponsoring this third segment, and we're appreciative of that.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of mainstays in Polk County and things that have gone on for a long time because of a lot of really good people. You know, it's really the quality of the people here in Polk County that makes the difference, all the way from our local volunteers and citizens and businesses, county commissioners, and those that serve on committees to you know, volunteers like Donovan Tinsley, who is heavily involved in the competition end of the Lakeland Pig Fest, one of my favorite events of the entire year. And this is a big deal because it's a real competition.
Oh, it certainly
Donovan,
is.
welcome, by the way.
Thank you very much.
He's very excited
Appreciate it.
about the food
I love the
part
pig
of it,
fest.
but
Yeah.
welcome to the show.
Well, no, thank you. Any event that revolves around food, we got to get excited about it.
That's right.
Especially of the quality that seems to come out. So, absolutely. So,
Let's talk about Pig Fest. It was started in 1994, correct?
97 actually.
97,
This-
okay.
Yep. Mhm.
And tell us, when Mark said it's an actual event, what does that mean? It's sanctioned, correct?
It is sanctioned. We started in '97. I've actually cooked in the event this will be for 14 years. This is our 18th year. The first kind of found our way the first 3 years, but basically it started. There was a group of local businessmen, Bill Tinsley, Frank Buzanka, Judge Holmes. A guy by the name of Nick Nicholas were involved, Don Pickard, and some of those guys were up in Tron, North Carolina, visiting a KCBS, Kansas City Barbecue Society event, and loved it so much. They said, how do we get this to happen? Got involved, and since day one, we have been the sanctioned Florida State Championship for KCBS, which, without getting too technical into it, means that for the winner, the grand champion on the pro division that wins this gets an automatic berth into the Royale, which is the Kansas City American Royal in
The granddaddy
Missouri.
of
The granddaddy of their that's their Daytona,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
So,
Well, you know, it's more than just a competition, and that's what Sports Central's all about. It's about competition. It could be arts competitions, it could be sports competitions, it could be any type of competitions. In this case, it's a cooking competition, but there's another side to it that a lot of people don't realize, and that's the fact that you guys have raised more than $500,000 for local charities. It goes right back into the community and makes our community better off.
absolutely, and I've only recently been involved with the board and the organization side of things, as not just as a competitor and a participation level, but it is, and it's really you see a lot of these events where you get involved and there's potentially, you know, some they're not budgeted properly and that type of thing. Every bit of the sponsorship dollars that come in go back to charity, which is great. The event is self-sufficient on its own. The charity giving goes out to public, and speaking of public, we couldn't be remiss not to mention right from the start, Public Supermarkets and Public Supermarkets charities have been a big supporter of our events.
Isn't it amazing how many events, not only here on Sports Central, but in this county that we talk about, and they're the first ones out of everybody's mouth because
Absolutely.
they're such great community partners. And this really is a family type event. And let's talk about the Kids Q contest. What is it? I see it was added in 2004, but what exactly is it?
Absolutely. Badcock and More is our sponsor in that area, and it's just that. It's just like any sport, and the sport of barbecue wants to take care of the young up and comers, and these are folks that some of them are kids of participants, some are just members of the community, but they come out and they have a 2-category chicken and beef that they cook, take part in, and then are judged just the same as the other big competitors.
Now, wait a minute. What ages are we talking about here? Because I believe my son has been shirking his responsibility in feeding me because he's 11. Is he on the fringe of that yet?
Yeah, no, he's right there. He's right there. We've got our segmented
I have to
age.
bring him out there.
Absolutely, they do great. And then they have their own award ceremony in the middle of the event, and they meet up with our mascot and kind of march their entries in. So, which is great. So.
Badcock Kids Q
Yeah,
competition.
they get to keep a grill. They get
wow.
that they cook on,
we're
so they're
definitely
good. So, if
Chop,
no other reason,
chop, buddy. You need to get old Logan in there.
Logan's
Absolutely.
gotta get in there, absolutely. Friday night events. Added a few years ago.
A few years ago, kind of expanded the whole thing.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I'm glad you mentioned that because in this year it's actually expanded even further because we're actually opening the event at 3 o'clock on Friday now,
Wow.
hoping to help some of those folks with our crowd
It's like,
control.
woo, all right.
Yeah, some of the folks can hit us on Friday on the way home, you know, and take care of things. But yeah, the Friday night event was added. Just a few years ago in 08, and just took the numbers. We were so packed in on Saturday, and now we found that our Friday crowd is almost larger than our Saturday crowd. Wow. We will be somewhere in the neighborhood of north of 30,000 folks that will attend and be there at Tigertown for this event over the 2-day period.
Well,
So-
you even have some, kind of quirky stuff like barbecue Sundays. barbecue egg rolls?
Oh, if you are
really?
if you're a food aficionado
yeah.
kind of thing, you need to take part and visit the event, because we've got folks that are competing with us that folks may know about Pitmasters and Chopped and some of these shows.
Oh, yeah.
Myron Mixon, Tuffy Stone, those guys are going to be here competing. Not just making an appearance, they'll be here competing. Local guys like Chad Ward, who was on Chopped, or out of Winter Haven, Rub Bagby and his Swamp Boys barbecue team, which is, I'm pretty sure, the #1 FBA team currently. If they weren't
What's
last year,
FBA?
they are this year. That's the Florida Barbecue Association,
Okay.
which is just another offshoot. A lot of the folks that compete in KCBS will come down and compete in FBA events, or the FBA folks will do the other side. So it's just another sanctioning body.
Yeah, well, it's, we're caught up in that too. We all use all these acronyms. Go, are you speaking a foreign language there, son? Oh, excuse me, but
Absolutely.
FBA, Florida Barbecue Association. Cool.
You talk about all these groups that are contestants competing in this. How many are you looking? How many teams or how many groups do you think will be?
Well, we are by far, in a way, the largest barbecue competition in Florida, and really, if you look in the Southeast, we'll be north of 150 teams. We're still trying to create and carve out a few more spaces, but there'll be 75 in the pro division that are sanctioned KCBS cooks, and then we'll have 75 or more in our backyard, the public's backyard division, which are the local cooks, which I got to tell you are just as highly competitive and have to follow the same rules and are judged accordingly to the KCBS rules.
Real quick question for you. Okay, just sort of the process. Guys get their meat. Is the meat supplied to them?
No.
Or they bring in whatever they want to bring
They bring
in?
whatever they want, but we do there's a meat inspection when they hit the site at a set time, and we go inspect, and everybody starts from equal, if you will.
Okay.
There's no pre-marinated meats. There's no pre-injection. No nothing. Okay.
Everything that's done to
Right
the
there
meat
on
is
site.
done on site.
Right
Okay.
there.
Can people
on site.
watch that? I mean, obviously there's secrets to the trade that some people aren't going to let them know. But I mean, can Joe?
It's
Barbecue
funny you
can come
mention
in
that,
there?
though, Mark, because all these guys, it's a real neat society, a fraternity, if you will. These guys will now, I'm sure there's a lot that gets held to the vest, but they'll share everything. Some folks are, as you make your rounds, there's some guys will be right out there in the aisle, if you will, prepping their meat. There'll be some that are in the trailer, and you can come kind of check out, ask questions about grills, about convections, about how their heat flow is going, and then, of course, the meat preparation as well. So,
Well, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the Lakeland Pig Fest, and that's going to be January 24th and 25th, and that's at Tigertown, correct? And how can people get more information about the activities and where to go and what to do and how to?
well, you can visit our website, lakelandpigfest.org, and we've got all the schedule of the events. You can visit us on Facebook at I Love Lakeland Pig Festival. As we get closer, there'll be updates and things that are going on there, which is wonderful as well. So to have all that information covered. So,
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, that is some awesome stuff. Jeez, seen him twice in 2 days now. We had a big powwow over at Sun and Fun, which we're going to be talking about here in not too long. But Pigs Fly South was another big event. I'm assuming you were involved in that one as well. But Blue Angels coming this year. I'm kind of giving some folks a sneak preview of what's coming up out at Sun and Fun. We're real excited about it. Got
Very
some
excited.
good partnerships going and working some real positive things out. So, man, it's great to see you again.
Good to be seen, sir.
Well, we appreciate it. And we might have to have a camera out there with some sampling going on.
I see what you did there.
Donovan Tisley from the Lakeland Pig Fest. Once again, Donovan, thank you so much. Well, we've got I don't know how to even describe this, but it's like up close and personal. They used to do this for the Summer and the Winter Olympic Games quite a bit. We picked up on it quite some time ago. Nothing like an athlete feature. What goes on behind the training? Aspirations for the future? Lucy Mueller. She's a swimmer from George Jenkins and a good one to beat. Check this out. Get to know her, and we'll be back right after this.
I started swimming because my dad swam at Florida State University, and he kind of introduced me to the sport, and I took some lessons and I really enjoyed it. When I started actually competing, it was around the end of my 7th grade year, and that's when I started getting into it a lot and going to practices every single day and then sometimes twice a day also. The person who keeps me going with swimming would have to be my dad and then my coach Mike. They are a really good influence as well as my high school coach, Coach Jen. They just kind of give me that feedback that I need to keep going, and when I'm kind of in like a bad place with swimming or I'm kind of tired and worn out, they just give me that extra reminder to keep going and that the hard work will pay off. My favorite athlete, this might sound a little bit cliche, but it has to be Michael Phelps, just because he has done what no other athlete has done before, and he just shows that all the work like pays off, and just a really good person and athlete all around. My favorite subject would have to be history. I really enjoyed taking the AP US History course last year. I'm unsure about swimming in college right now, but I hope to attend Florida State University if I don't. And at Florida State, I would like to study journalism or finance, kind of two different ends of the spectrum, but I really enjoy both of those. In 10 years, I hope to be successful. I don't really know. I haven't really thought about that. At my age, I should know what I want to do, but maybe work for some type of, maybe CNN, maybe behind the scenes, I don't know. Something that has to do, something that makes me happy. My biggest accomplishment inside the pool would have to be making it to states last year with my relay team and breaking the records throughout the season. Just once you get to states, that's just kind of like comes full circle with you during your high school training part of the season, and that's just as far as you can get, so that was really good making it there, and it was just a fun experience. I think that swimming has taught me a lot about balancing everything in my life, so I think being able to balance schoolwork, keeping my GPA up, and doing other extracurricular activities is something that I'm really proud of. For 3 years, I was vice president of my class, and this year I'm the historian. I'm part of a nonprofit organization called Youth Impact, where we kind of like spread the awareness throughout the community for teenagers, and I'm now vice president of that. And other than that, I've just done student council, NHS, and a bunch of like little clubs throughout the school. On my iPod, oh my gosh, I listen to a lot of different music. I do like the boy bands, but then I do like the R&B, and then I like a little bit of rap because I have to have the rap to pump me up before I swim. And then I do like some of like the throwback music, just a whole bunch of everything, but like Chris Brown, Rihanna, all just a bunch of different stuff, rappers, boy bands, just everything. Before swim meet, before I race with my relay, we always huddle up together, and we always make sure that we all have our cap and goggles on first. Everyone has to like look the same basically, and we all get together, and then I normally lead off the talks, and we just kind of like get ourselves like pumped and psyched, and we just like give ourselves the confidence that we need to get into the water. And then individually, I read an article once in a Splash magazine where it talks about where you just need to focus on the now, and don't forget about everything. Like, you need to focus on that you're behind the blocks, and then once you get on top of the block, then you're on the block, and then when you're in the water, you're in the water. So you just don't think about anything that's coming, and then don't think about anything that's happened, just what's happening now. The four of us, we do two different relays. There's the one that we do is the 200 medley relay, and we each swim individual strokes on that. And then we do the 200 free relay, which we all swim 2 laps of freestyle. In the medley, I do the 50 free leg, which is the last leg of the relay. Well, my best friends are my teammates, and so they kind of go through what I go through. I think they would describe me as someone who works hard, who doesn't take no for an answer, and once they put their mind to it, they want to get it accomplished, and she doesn't put up with people who aren't hard workers and don't do what's told, so just someone who likes things to be done the way they're supposed to be, I guess. I'd like to describe myself in one word would be dedicated, because I'm dedicated to my sport, I'm dedicated to my family, dedicated to my teammates, I'm dedicated to my schoolwork, and just, I think with dedication comes a lot of love and everything else that it takes to be dedicated to something.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sports Central. Mark and Neil here, and you know, Neil, one of the things that I love about Christmas time is I get to go up to Lakeside Village, but that's not the favorite part. The favorite part, going to Abuelo's for dinner. Our segment sponsor.
Nicely done, sir.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Actually, I may stop by there tonight. We've got the Florida Baptist Children's Home has their kind of annual Christmas, and Mary Beth is a guardian ad litem for one of the young ladies over there. Her name is Crimson.
Wow.
And so we're going to head over there. And
it's that time of year, and if you can give something or a little extra something to somebody who needs it, it's a great thing to do. And this is a great county. This is a great place to live, and a lot of great athletes here in Polk County as well.
Oh, it's unbelievable in terms of athletes. In fact, Neil, there's a big game coming up, which you're a little bit aware about.
I'm a little aware.
Yeah, the Seminole fan here, but there's a number of players that are playing for Florida State, and there's in the BCS championship game, but there's some one or two that are playing for Auburn as well, I believe.
Yeah, we tied in for Auburn. Brandon Fultz from Fort Meade High School. He's playing for the Auburn Tigers, and he'll be in that national championship game. And there's 4 Polk County guys on the Florida State roster. Chad Abram from Kathleen High School, he's a fullback. Freddie Stevenson, who's a freshman this year up there, came from Bartow High School. He's a fullback as well. Carlos Williams, which is part of that three-headed monster they have at running back there. He was a defensive guy, and they moved him. Jimbo Fisher moved him over to running back this year. Carlos Williams from Ridge High School, and then Jared Hagans had some injury problems from Lakeland High School, but he's on that roster. He's a wide receiver, so just all kinds of talent from Polk County. 5 kids from Polk County going to be playing the BCS National Championship on January 6th from Pasadena. That's cool. That's neat to see. Did want to mention also, sticking with football, Victory Christian Academy came up just short. I think it was 14-7 was the final in the state championship game. So congratulations to them on a great season. And then Lake Wales, the other Polk County team that was able to go on a good playoff run, they ended up losing in the regional finals. So didn't quite make it, but a great season for them.
Congratulations to the both communities and to both teams.
Absolutely.
It's both good programs.
Yeah, and it won't be long, and June will be here, and we'll be honoring people at the Polk County All Sports Awards and Hall of Fame induction. Of course, that happens annually at the Lakeland Center. Looking forward to that.
Presented by the Ledger.
Yep.
And so we're
Ledger Media Group.
Great partnership there. Great people, and their sports writers are always a delight. They give you some insights that you don't get anywhere else.
Yeah, and I also want to mention the great relationship we have with Hall Communications. I know we usually mention it later in this segment. Go ahead and take the liberty to do that now. Hall Communications, you talk about Max 98.3, 97 Country, WONN and WLKF. Not only have they given us a platform on WLKF from 5 to 6 on Thursdays for the radio version of Sports Central, but they've also given us a platform Monday mornings, 7 to 8 a.m. I'm able to go on WLKF and talk about not only things on the national scene, but local events that are coming up here in Polk County. And then we hit the other 3 stations from the 8 o'clock hour.
Well, that's 30. What is that? 32 counties, Neil?
32 counties is 97 Country, and then Max reaches Orlando to Tampa, and just a great opportunity for us to talk about the things there are to see and do on the sports side of things, but also on the tourism side. Of course, you can
nature stuff, recreational sports, arts and culture.
Yeah,
there's
and
a
all
lot
the
of good
events
stuff.
that are coming up, and speaking of, we have a few events that we're going to talk about right now.
Oh man! Well, it's been actually a fiscal year for the county, and a lot of government organizations is October 1st to September 30th. But this last year, it was roughly $134 million in economic impact from the sporting events, unofficial, and not even including the Lakeland Tigers or Sun and Fun Flying. You're talking quarter of $1 billion in sports.
Huge,
it's just
huge impact for Polk County.
Phenomenal impact. But the Florida Independent Softball Association, which is actually based in Bartow, coming up, they have their fall state championships in the C category. A lot of players coming into the Bartow complex, and
over 500
that's a big
participants. Deal. Yeah, absolutely. And then Florida Half Century, which is the 50s state championship, the age 50s, 50 and older.
A little bit younger than me.
December 15th and 16th.
Older than me, excuse me.
That's okay, you're confused. It's all right.
I have been all day. say. I was just like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, it's a multiple complexes: Auburndale Softball Complex, Diamondplex, and then Southwest Complex. So a great event there.
You bet. Well, you know, Auburndale, obviously famous for basketball. Tracy McGrady played there, and the gym there is named after him. But they have a big Christmas tournament. Sometimes he shows up, sometimes he doesn't. It's December 21st and 22nd, and that's going on. It's their annual Christmas tournament. So, you know, big doings there in Auburndale as well.
Big event going on in Frostproof, the Florida State USPSA match, and that'll be at the Universal Shooting Academy in Frostproof. That's January 10th through the 12th.
Okay, so if you're into shooting sports, this is like a huge deal, right, Neil? You were responsible for going to Greece to secure the IPSC. Now, we're going to explain these acronyms. IPSC is International Practical Shooting Congress, and it's the World Shoots, the Super Bowl of shooting, coming to Polk County in 2014 to the Universal Shooting Academy in Frostproof. And Neil, that's a huge deal, but there's so many events
that are coming because of
that are becoming that are coming because of this, and more coming after that. And this is pistols. Practical
handguns
shooting.
and practical
Yeah,
shooting.
absolutely.
We also have the Lakeland Winter Sectional, which we talked to Dave Bierman about. Reminder, that's January 11th through the 13th. The Lakeland Pro Rodeo Classic, which we also had on this show, January 17th and 18th at the Lakeland Center.
That's a fun one. You going to take Logan this year?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a great event, family atmosphere, and as they talked about, you know, there's some ticketing options that really make it affordable to get the whole family there.
That's, you know, and it's just such a family. You can go in there, and you can be comfortable that you're not going to see or hear, or, I mean, it's just so geared to the family, but it is world-class athletes combined with world-class entertainers. You can't go wrong with this one. It's awesome.
Yep, Baseball Factory All-America Preseason Rookie Tournament powered by Under Armour. That'll be January 17th through the 19th at the Lake Myrtle Sports Park, as well as a Downtown Throwdown, which will be January 17th and 18th event.
That'll be a good one.
That'll be a neat event. But Florida State Soccer Association, that's the adults, not the Florida Youth Soccer Association, the Florida State Soccer Association Florida Classic, January 17th through the 20th, and that is at the Lake Myrtle Sports Park as well.
Well, good distinction, because we have the largest sports governing body in the state of Florida, and that's the Florida Youth Soccer Association based at Lake Myrtle. Neil, you got some people to thank, I believe.
We do. Got to help thank the people that help make the show possible, and that's the Hyatt Place Lakeland Center, Travel Lodge, Harry's Seafood Bar Grill, Abuelos, and Best Western Auburndale.
Well, everybody, we have a special surprise for you, because coming up on December 27th, it's going to be the year in review, the highlights, the special features, and maybe a few, no, there won't be any faux pas in there, you know, flubs or whatever. But we do have a special lineup for you starting December 27th. Make sure you check that out. Our very best wishes for a safe and happy holiday season. If you'd like to see more of this show, Mark and Neil, check out the following dates and times for re-airs of this show, because we air every single day. Thanks so much, and thanks to the PGTV production and direction crew, and also our wonderful cameramen. Ladies and gentlemen, we bid you adieu. Mark Jackson for Neil Duncan and all of the folks at PGTV. We'll see you again next time.